upon a time, in a town, there lived two poor orphans, Adaobi and Nneka. Adaobi was the eldest, and she was very kind and loving to everyone. The younger one, Nneka, however, was just unlike her sister in every way. She would be mean to other people and often speak rudely to her sister. Adaobi did all the chores of the house and ensured food was cooked so that whenever she's back from the market, hungry and exhausted, she would have her food to eat and go to sleep. Adaobi was a fruit seller. As the first child of her parents, she realized that the responsibility of her family rested on her shoulders, and so worked very hard to make ends meet for herself and her sister. Nneka never helped her sister and cared less about her well-being. She would waste her time sitting in front of the mirror, adoring and praising herself. One day, Adaobi came back from the market with a little money. She felt very concerned, so she called her sister Nneka and told her that she is sorry that what she earned is not enough to feed the two of them, and asked if she could help her sell some fruits in the market from the next day so that they could make enough money for the both of them. Nneka told her that she must be out of her mind for thinking that a future wife of a billionaire like her would become a peasant. Adaobi tried to make her understand her plight, but Nneka walked out on her and went to the mirror, her favorite spot. Adaobi was very sad, so she sat down and started to weep. Nneka stepped out of the house, and while she was taking a walk round the town, she met with a young man. The young man asked her for direction to a place. Saying that the young man was not with any car, she immediately spoke rudely to him and asked him if she looked like a servant to him, and she told him to get out of her sight. Nneka walked away and the young man continued with his journey. Next, he met Adaobi, who was on her way to the market. The young man, without hesitation, asked her how he would get to the address he had. Adaobi gently directed the young man how to get to his destination. The young man then introduced himself to Adaobi as Elochukwu, thanked her, and then went his way. A few days later, Elochukwu met Adaobi in the market and once again thanked her for her help the other day. Adaobi, who was glad to have been of help to him, told him that he has thanked her enough. Elochukwu then asked to be friends with her, and so they became friends. Elochukwu visited Adaobi in their house most times, and each time he went there, he met Nneka, who cared less about his visit. Time passed and Elochukwu and Adaobi grew fond of each other. He visited Adaobi, who had told him of how sick she was, brought her some money and groceries. But as he got to their house, he met Nneka, who refused to let him in. Nneka told him to hand her over the things he came to give Adaobi, that she would help him give them to her. Elochukwu, seeing that Nneka would not let him in, no matter how hard he tried, gave her the money and groceries he came with and left. Nneka never gave any of those things to her sister. After some time, Adaobi, who was now strong, was on her way to the market when she met Elochukwu, who was glad to see her back to her feet strong. Elochukwu took her to a beautiful place where they both had drinks and quality time, gisting and laughing. Elochukwu then proposed to Adaobi. Adaobi was very happy to have been engaged to a lovely man such as Elochukwu. She quickly ran home to share the news with her sister Nneka. Nneka cared less about the news, and so she mocked her sister for wanting to end up with a low life like Elochukwu, who to her had no surname. But unbeknownst to her, Elochukwu was an international self-made millionaire from a very reputable home. The next day, Elochukwu visited Adaobi, and this time he drove in one of his luxury cars. Immediately Nneka saw the car parked in their compound. She ran to Elochukwu and immediately started being nice to him. She told him awful things about her sister. Elochukwu then told her that he has been out and about looking for the kindest woman on earth to marry, and that he must say that he has finally found the right girl in her sister. He called her a wicked soul and told her to leave his sight. Elochukwu then went into Adaobi's house and told her everything from the first day he met her sister to when he gave her money and groceries and all the dreadful things she said to him about her. Adaobi then called her sister and asked her what she has ever done to her to deserve all the ill treatment she gets from her. Nneka, who was sad but yet careless about anything, warned her not to speak to her again, and then told her to go with her marriage and let her be, that she has never liked her and will never like her. Tears rolled down Adaobi's eyes, but Elochukwu got hold of her and told her not to be sad over her sister, as she does not deserve her love and kindness. Adaobi and Elochukwu got married and had a grand wedding. Nneka continued living her life, unkind and cruel towards others. She did not change a bit. Adaobi, however, made sure that her sister received enough food and money. Adaobi and Elochukwu lived a happy and content life.